Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamualaikum. Ji ayanu pakhairagale. Ni hao chunashumme washmale. Ohai gunzaimus guten morgen. Hola boyo privyet kaifa hal. Hale shuma chatore ahlan wa sahlan marhaba. Buna mucho gracias. Swabia balli kare aya. Hoş geldin and ayasayo khuyamora chi battochi haljot kalimera khairutan. And a very warm welcome to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and watching World this morning. Alongside me, I obviously happen to be Shahzad Khan, and with my wonderful colleague who's happening to be filling in for Hajra Satti, she is Miss Sadaf Ali Khan. Assalamu alaikum, Sadaf. How are you feeling today?
Walaikum assalam. I love your energy.
Thank you so much.
This is really on the clouds. And if we talk about the clouds, the weather that comes in our mind. And we have an weather update, which we have to begin with. We have dry weather expected in most parts of the country, and mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country, while very cold and partly cloudy to cloudy conditions are anticipated in hilly areas over the next 24 hours. According to the Met Office, continental air is prevailing over most parts of the country, and a shallow westerly wave is passing over the upper regions, and we are actually praying for rain as well, because that actually solves a lot of your problems.
I mean, that's exactly what we are all eyeing for. I mean, we certainly would want it to rain, and Allah Pak, please, help us do that as well, because unfortunately, if rain's not going to come, ladies and gentlemen, anytime sooner, it's going to be dry weather as expected as well. But unfortunately, with dry weather, there's a lot of cough, a lot of virals and whatnot. So please make sure that meanwhile, that the rain's not going to come to us, that you stay protected, wear warm clothing, whatnot, look after your elderly, look after the children in your house as well. For adults, please make sure that you nange pav na ghume. I think that's a public service message by all the mothers who are out there as well. Puttan nange pair nahi ghumna. Theek hai ji?
That's
all right.
very correct.
Now coming back to sport, the world of sports as well, as I've always been invested in sports as well, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, after a very decisive defeat from South Africa in the T20 internationals, today Pakistan will be eyeing to, face them in the first one-day international. The first one-day international between Pakistan and South Africa will be played today at Paarl, Cape Town. The match will begin at 5 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Pakistani captain Mohammad and South African skipper Themba Bavuma unveiled the series trophy. Both teams so far played 83 one-day internationals, as South Africa winning 52, while Pakistan got victory in 30 matches. One match ended in no result. After the one-day series, both teams will play two-match test series. Well, we certainly want Pakistan team to win from here onwards as well, and not just that. I think moving on towards adventure sports as well.
Adventure sports, where we talk about Jal Maksi Desert Challenge 2024, where Nawabzada Jafar Maksi wins the race in the pet category. And Nawabzada Jafar Maksi clinched the title of Jal Maksi Desert Challenge Jeep Rally 2024 with the commanding performance. In the prepared category, Nawabzada Jafar Maksi completed the 170-kilometer distance in 1 hour, 54 minutes and 20 seconds. Anis Maksi remained second with a time of 1 hour, 58 minutes and 11 seconds, whereas Nawabzada Nadir Maksi rounded out the top three with a time of 1 hour, 58 minutes and 33 seconds.
Wow.
If you talk about the stock category, Awais Shahwani emerged as the winner, completing the track in 1 hour, 58 minutes and 39 seconds. Shoaib Maksi and Asif Awan secured second and third places respectively. And if we talk about the women's category specifically, Sayyida Rida Zainab claimed the first position. I always like women driving in the Jeep rallies, in the deserts. This actually, gives that.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, we are a very inclusive society for anybody who's actually watching us, because we do have a lot of international audience. We go out in 46 different countries, the diplomats which reside within our own country, the ambassadors and everyone. I think we've always been a very inclusive society. Look at you and me, or any other, morning show on Pakistan television. As of now, you will always see a guy and a girl, doing it together. Not just that, may it be our armed forces, may it be our scientists, may it be our pilots, may it be our pilots in Air Force. So I think Pakistan has been doing phenomenally. So all the daughters of the soil, you guys are doing a great job. But while we're at it, for us to witness the world, or for us to witness this life, it's really important, Sadaf, that we keep our eyes healthy. And that's exactly something that we've picked up on today.
I have to mention something over here. There was this one specific incident in my life, and one of my eye had such a bad infection that I couldn't open my eye for like 3 days consecutively.
Really?
And at that time, I realized how important are eyes to us, because sometimes we take things for granted. We have these things since the beginning, and sometimes we forget to take care of these things. That includes our eyesight.
Exactly. And, you know, so we've always been very vocal about how everybody needs to kind of go to the doctor, get themselves checked up, if not once a year, at least twice a year as well. That's one thing that we've always been emphasizing on. You know, so what we'll do is that we'll get our, you know, CBC done, you know, complete blood picture, you know, we'll check our diabetes, we'll check our blood glucose level and whatnot. But ladies and gentlemen, I think that, you know, that eyes are actually linked with other some symptomatic illnesses as well, that your eye health can actually deteriorate or it can get better with the food choices you make. Not just that, I think it was a very staggering number for me when I came across it, that 1 billion people can actually prevent visual impairments all over the globe by just going to the doctor and getting themselves checked up. And today, you know, when we are actually talking about it in December, ladies and gentlemen, the December happens to be the gift of sight month. We really need to realize, recognize and be full of gratitude for Allah who has actually blessed us with these amazing guys and how to look after them. We're very lucky that we've been joined by a wonderful guest, happens to be the head of department at Eye Department, PIMS. He is Dr. Muhammad Arif Khan Sahab. Hello sir, Assalamu Alaikum. Good morning, how are you?
Thank you very much. I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you so much sir for joining us. Wonderful to have you over here. Let's get started with the basics. And if we are to kind of ask about the basics, obviously over here, until and unless that we have a little bit of difficulty in looking at things, we do not go to an ophthalmologist. We're not going to get our eyesight checked up, and there's no basic awareness amongst people. So let's get started with that, and that too on the occasion of the Gift of Sight Month.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I would like to talk about some basic things, common household problems, so that the audience, our countrymen would know. I would divide my talk into two parts. Number one is for children, and number two is for adults. For the mothers who have newborn babies or they have children in the house, please note how they behave while going to school or playing around in the house. If they do not, even the newborn babies, if they do not have an eye contact with the mother when she calls them or calls their name or shows them some light, they should be worried. Because in the world, number one cause of blindness is refractive error. Refractive error is nothing but a person who needs glasses.
Okay.
So even the small children who cannot speak for themselves, you can just note them, and if you find any abnormality, that the child is not looking at me when I'm talking or he is not attentive enough, please see a nearby ophthalmologist, because it is very important for the child to develop his eyes during those years. And if the child cannot see, the eye will never be developed. I have seen so many cases in my life in which one eye has never developed because he couldn't see.
All right.
So refractive error is a basic thing. I mean, you can just put on glasses and the child will just smile.
Yeah.
See? So this is something for the children. And for the adults, I would say that please, if you are healthy, even then, you should get your eyesight checked at least once a year.
All right.
Once a year.
Yes.
Okay.
And if you have some issues or you have any other systemic disease apart from glasses like diabetes or hypertension or any other disease for that matter, you should see, you should have a detailed checkup of the eyes.
And we will certainly sir, come down to that as well, where, you know, we'll speak about the systemic diseases related to our eye health as well. But that's, you know, because you spoke about the younger ones, you know, probably a baby who's only 2 years old cannot pay attention to their mother or father, or does not make an eye contact. I think that's something which the parents need to kind of really relate with as well and take their child to the ophthalmologist. But while we're at it, I've seen that, you know, when my daughters were alhamdulillah growing up, you know, one of them would actually stand in front of the television, you know, because so what we did was that, okay, we wanted to limit the screen time and whatnot. So she would always be right in front of the television. I was like, man, I think that we really need to get her eye checked up as well. We got it checked up. Obviously, now she sits on the sofa, watches her TV comfortably and whatnot. How do you think that these symptoms can actually be an indicator for their parents that this is the right time to go to the doctor?
There are three important things in this regard. First thing is, like you said, the child who gets too close to the screen and just stares at the screen,
Yeah.
you would know that, and then by letting them sit behind, you see that if they are squeezing their eyes, their posture is changing, they are rotating their neck, then you should be alert that there is some difficulty in seeing things. The second one is that sometimes when I was a child, you know,
You still look like it.
thank you very much. So the mother would come and say, look, my son has beautiful big eyes, you know. So it was a symbol.
A lot of people must say this now as well.
Yes.
They would be saying this.
So it is a symbol of beauty,
Yeah.
not even in women, but also in
Men.
men. But please,
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
but please be aware that a small child with big eyes can have glaucoma.
Glaucoma.
Yes.
What is that, sir?
Glaucoma is basically a condition in which there is increased pressure in the eye.
Okay.
Like you have a car, you run a car.
So the
and
blood pressure within the vessels?
No. That is another thing. Everybody knows that you have to maintain a certain pressure in the tires of a car. For
Yep.
example, 30 psi is the standard. So inside the eyeball, there is a certain pressure which God has maintained.
Okay.
If it increases, then it causes glaucoma. This is glaucoma.
And what
Oh.
happens when glaucoma actually, unfortunately,
Yes, if it occurs, then in the smaller children, the eyeball is very soft. So
Okay.
it starts increasing in size.
all right.
So you see a big cornea and it must look beautiful. But I think that the mothers of my country, they should know that if their one eye or both eyes are abnormally big, they should see an ophthalmologist urgently.
Okay, if it's detected earlier in life, is there any way to avoid it?
It is very important to detect this in early life, because this is a disease which causes irreversible eye damage.
All right.
Oh.
So you
Okay,
really cannot help.
Yes, if somebody is not treated promptly at the right time, the eyesight will never come back. So, in the children, then the physician, eye surgeon will decide what to do, either go for surgery or go for the medical treatment. But the important thing is the know-how of the mothers. And the last thing is, one was refractive error, the second one is this, and third one is alignment of the eyes. If one of the eyes is moving inward
Squint,
or
basically.
outward, we normally call it squint
Yeah.
or bhangapan in our language. If this happens to a children, then most probably there is a refractive error or something else. You should see the doctor immediately.
And is that reversible?
It is reversible.
Okay,
It can be cured. And one of the most dangerous things which I would like to mention is, in a small child, we have a cornea by which we recognize the color of the eyes. I mean, we say you have blue eyes, you have brown eyes, you have jet black eyes. If there is whiteness inside the eye, then those children must be examined by a senior ophthalmologist at a big center immediately,
All right.
because that is a sign of some diseases which are very fatal for the eye.
All right.
Okay, a lot of people in our society, they wear contact lenses, either it be for fashion, either it be for their eyesight. So, is there any way that, you know, like we can determine what quality of lenses we have to choose? Because I use contact lenses as well.
Yeah, and this is a question which is going to help you a lot.
Yes, this is going to help me a lot
Please,
as
sir.
well. So,
Ma'am,
yeah.
the thing is that there are two reasons for people to use contacts. One is cosmetic. I mean, if somebody wants to change the color of the eye for some reason, in going to any function or something like that, that is acceptable. I mean, you can use it once in a while. I mean, once in 2-3 months, it's all right. But the other reason is refractive error. I mean, if you need glasses and you do not want glasses on your nose,
Yeah.
then you can use contacts. In that scenario, I believe it is a bit tricky, because using contacts 24/7 is different from using them occasionally.
True.
Basically, I believe that nowadays there are more options, other options than contacts. They are better to opt.
For example, the laser therapies
Yes,
and
I
other
was
things
coming
like
towards
that.
that.
And we will come towards laser as well, you know,
Yeah.
because that's like one of our solutions, you know. So let's gather all the problems first, and then we'll move on towards the solutions. Now, sir, let's move on towards adults as well, because unfortunately, with dada, dadis, nana, nanis, mamas, chachis, you know, everybody, you know, they at some point of our age, we will certainly have to wear spectacles, or probably if we cannot go towards laser treatments and whatnot. But you said something which is very remarkable, and that was that, you know, with your food choices, you can actually make your eyes healthier.
Yes.
So for anyone and everyone who's out there and if they want to protect their eyes, what food choices do you think that they can opt for which will help their eyes get better, or probably stay where they are?
This is a very important question, and I want my countrymen to listen to me very carefully.
Sir.
Nowadays, the trend is to go for fast foods, especially the children.
Yep.
The upcoming adults, I mean the teenagers, they will go for burgers and pizzas and whatnot. But these things won't help in your eyesight.
Okay.
If you want to protect your eyesight and want to have a long lasting vision, I believe you choose the food which has vitamins, natural nutrients, some chemical things which I do not ought to mention here, but green leafy vegetables and seasonal fruits.
All right.
They are going to protect your eyes, and if somebody cannot do that, please use multivitamins,
What sort of multivitamins, sir?
especially vitamin A.
Vitamin A.
Yes,
अब ये तो हम खाते ही नहीं कभी.
that
होता
should
किस चीज़ में ये नहीं पता मुझे तो.
in nowadays the seasonal fruits like pomegranate,
Yep. Oh,
lots
yeah.
of pomegranates, yeah, and then if they are very expensive, I mean, lot of people in my country, they cannot afford it, but they can go for carrots. It's very cheap.
Yep.
You can, I usually when I see, I work in the government hospital, so mostly we get people from middle class and even lower middle class. I tell them to just eat the carrots naked, you know, just
True,
peel
yeah.
them off and eat.
Just raw carrot.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are going to relieve constipation, and they are going to be helpful in
Yeah.
the preservation
And
of
so
vision.
they say that looking at greenery actually kind of helps to restore your eye health as well. Is that a myth, or
Psychologically, yes.
okay, it's more psychological?
And looking
you
at
always feel
beauty
great.
as well, sometimes
you
we
always
hear
feel
this
great.
as
And you know, Sadaf, there is a dilemma in our society, and
Yeah.
that is that whatever the kids will like, you know, wo garam hota taseer mein. You know, so unfortunately, whatever is expensive, it's like garam in taseer. You know, you ask for 2-3 eggs from your mother, putar bahut garam hote hain because they're expensive. You ask for cashew nuts, you know, beta bahut garam hote hain. So anything that we like the most, you know, or is expensive, wo taseer mein garam hoti hai. So very quickly towards the end, because Sadaf, my worthy co-host, actually asked you about laser treatments as well. Who can get the laser treatments, at what age, and does it really restore their eyesight to 6/6?
The ideal age of laser treatment is between roughly, I mean, I would give you a range between 19 and 39.
Okay, 19 and 30.
39, yeah. This is the age which is a bit safer, but please keep in mind that the later you go towards this sort of treatment, in a couple of years, you will have some near sight issues,
Okay.
which is purely age related. It
Alright.
has nothing to do with lasers.
All right.
But it is a great thing. I mean, 20, 25 years back, we couldn't offer anything to the patients, but now people come with -9, -10, and they go home with glasses free.
Wow.
So it is amazing.
And what are the results?
It's 6/6. That's it.
The results
The
depend.
percentage?
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
the results depend on your tests, the condition of your eye.
Okay.
To be more specific, the thickness of your cornea.
Okay.
If it is thick enough, then the results are very good. And it is not, if it is not thick enough, then we may not opt for laser. There are some limitations also.
True.
The science comes with amazing results within the limits.
But
So
thank you so much, Dr. Saab, for being with us. It's been shorter time as well. It was lovely to be in conversation with you, and that to you know, to speak about the gift of sight month. You know, I've told you this earlier as well, that 1 billion people can actually prevent some sort of visual impairment if they go to the doctor in time. Thank you so much for your wonderful time, for your wonderful presence as well. For everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, we're heading out towards a short break, but once you guys will come back, see, if you go to an ophthalmologist, the ophthalmologist can actually tell you by just looking at your eyes whether you have hypertension, whether you have diabetes or not. So imagine that the next segment we've dedicated it to diabetes, and that too, what can you do or what can you eat which can actually reverse your diabetes? See, I always wanted to do a program on that. Is that possible or not? That's something that we'll be sharing with you. It's groundbreaking, and I think that's something that I need to share with our audiences. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Good morning.
Stay tuned.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying tuned. For everybody who just got tuned into PTV Wall, you watching Wall this morning. She happens to be Sadaf Ali Khan. I happen to be Shahzad Ehsan Khan. Well, there's a similarity in the name too as
and
well.
And I really like the way you introduce the ladies first, wala.
Obviously, that's how it should be. I think that's exactly how it needs to be as well. But while we're at it, ladies and gentlemen, obviously, I've never ever been to my village because my grandfather used to say, "Ki putter, jab gaon jayenge na to kafan bhi yahan se leke jana padta hai, to tum idhar hi raho." You know, because obviously, you know, not everybody is well to do. But there's this one amazing legend which actually represent or has represented Faisalabad all over the country, and that happens to be Mr. Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab. And I always take pride in that. Thank God that, you know, I'm from Faisalabad. Unfortunately, I was not able to kind of sing him live. My father always used to bring in those DVCs on which you play on the VCR, and then you see those concerts as well. But wherever he is, may his soul rest in peace. But ladies and gentlemen, imagine that, you know, so there were a few records that he left behind, and then they were brought together and they produced an album. And now the Guardian ranks Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan's Chain of Light as top album of 2024. British newspaper, The Guardian has unveiled its list of best albums of the year 2024, which presents a lively mix of global musical brilliance, and singer whose albums has claimed the #1 spot is the legendary singer Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan. The late singer's posthumous album called Chain of Light contains 4 unreleased recordings from 1990, as I spoke about it before, including Ya Ghaus Ya Miran. The newspaper lauded the album, calling it a remarkable discovery that cements Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan's status on one of the music's great voice 27 years after his death. So the records which were left behind in 1990s brought together, and still the #1 album. Wow. That's what you call a legend.
Yeah, exactly. And I have another very interesting news, which is Shanghai Bear Cup Junjun becomes breakout sensation. You like the name? Junjun?
yeah, the Junjun's really cute.
Yeah, he's really cute. So an 11-month bear cub named Junjun, who lives in a zoo in the Chinese city of Shanghai, has become a sensation. People are flocking to the zoo to watch the cub in this enclosure, playing with his favorite tire, splashing in the water, or racing with his keepers. The bear cub's fame spread on social media after his videos and pictures of him were uploaded online, making him a celebrity. He looks so cute.
I mean, Junjun looks like more of a Pakistani name as well. Junjun, yeah. So Junjun obviously has won a lot of hearts all over the globe as well. But while we are at it, and since I'm, you know, trying to resonate with the name, now imagine that, you know, the word itself is really different. What I'm going to tell you now, and I think that it certainly is in line with our morning show as well, because we're going to be rounding up top words of 2024 by Merriam-Webster. So now imagine that Merriam-Webster has announced the list for top 10 words of the year 2024 on the basis of the most searches. However, some words that were looked up online will leave many people amused. Fortnite, resonate, weird, and even democracy figured on searches online. Some of the words that ended up in the list were used by politicians. Other words included demure, which was used by a TikToker in her video that garnered 50 million views, and Alician, which was looked up 60 times more often than usual. In March, a ship crashed into the Francois Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, US. When a ship hits a stationary object, it's called an Alician, not a collision. Not a collusion. Wow, that's wonderful. I mean, this is a fantastic news. Say, Allah na kare ki kabhi ye ho, but unfortunately, you know, if a ship crashes in a stationary object, what do we call it? Not a collusion, but a legion. Yeah, that's nice. Wonderful. Well, while we are at it, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to the point. Imagine before heading out towards a short break, we did say that, you know, that if you kind of go to your ophthalmologist, the ophthalmologist can figure it out through your eye if you have diabetes or not, or if you have hypertension or not. you know, we've done several programs over here on World This Morning speaking about diabetes and how we can actually, whether reverse it or not. So type 1 obviously cannot be reversed, but type 2, we have an example finally. We were able to get our hands onto one of those gentlemen who actually did it for himself. He's not a doctor, he's the author of a book, The Craft of Selling Yourself, and he's done it specially. Thank you so much for the book. I'll be introducing this gentleman. He says that he's obese over here, but he's really fit now. So he was diagnosed with diabetes type 2, and he was taking a lot of medicines as well, and then realized, you know, that's not really helping the root cause. We have a diabetologist alongside him as well to kind of speak about the science behind it. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we're very lucky that we've been joined by Ashraf Chaudhary, who happens to be an author and the one person that we got our hands on, you know, who reverses diabetes. And alongside him to kind of speak about the science behind it, we're very lucky that we've been joined by diabetologist Dr. Mahboob Ahmed Sahab. Hello sir, assalamu alaikum, good morning. How are you gentlemen?
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much sir for joining us. Wonderful to have you. Ashraf Sahab, first of all, what happened, how it happened, and what did you do to curb the menace of diabetes? Please go ahead. You know, so lesser questions asked.
In 2004, I was 34 years old, and I was working for PC Hotels and Marriott Hotels. I was based in Islamabad.
Okay, sir.
And I got diagnosed with diabetes. I went to a doctor, and he prescribed few medicines. I asked him a very usual question, that for how many days I will have to take these medicines.
Because you were pre-diabetic.
I was full blown.
Okay, you were diabetic.
I had my fasting was around 300, which is a high.
Even with fasting.
Yeah. I asked him for how many days I will have to use these medicines, and he looked at me like I asked a very rude question, because it was a normal for him that these medicines have to be used for forever. It was a big shocker for me. But being a responsible person, I accepted it, that life is a whole package. If I am diabetic, so what? I have so many blessings of Allah. The problem is that same medicine does not continue in the same dosage. It progresses.
Sometimes it's 100 mg, sometimes 200 mg, 150.
I started with 500 metformin in the morning, but after 1 year it was 1000 mg in the morning and 1000 mg in the evening. After few years, another medicine was added. After 4 or 5 years, another medicine was. Fast forward, for 18 years, I took all the medicines of diabetes which have been invented so far. I was taking 4 medicines.
And was your diabetes under control with those medicines?
It was under control. That the doctor says that it's a good control. Like HbA1c is, if your HbA1c is 7, it's called good control.
Okay.
But this good control, the 7 HbA1c, if you prolong it for let's say 10 years, you start getting complications. I started getting neuropathy, forgetfulness, sort of dementia. My lipid profile was out of range. In 2022, at the time of new resolutions, I passed the resolution that this is the last year. Inshallah, I will reverse my diabetes, and I will do it, come what may, I will do it.
And I like the terminology.
I will come back to this.
I really like the terminology.
Yeah, and I will come back to this with the New Year resolution, because New Year is just coming around as well, and a lot of people are actually thinking of New Year resolutions. We're going to move on to Mahboob Sahab. Now, Mahboob Sahab, for any doctor to be sitting on national television and saying that diabetes is reversible, this will be the very first instance that people will witness today on Pakistan television, that you as a diabetologist will say that type 2 diabetes can be reversed and you won't have to take any medicine. What's your take on this?
Thank you for inviting me, Shahzad. So, the problem is diabetes has 2 types, type 1 and type 2. So, actually type 1 patient develops type 1 in early age, like teenage or before,
even 5, 6
in the first year
can
of
get that.
first year of the decade. So, that type 1 is only hormonal disease.
Okay.
So, the tsunami of the diabetes which is suffering, or many Pakistanis are suffering, that is type 2. 90% people, 90% Pakistanis are actually type 2. Right. That is a lifestyle disease. World Health Organization itself says it's a lifestyle disease. It's not a hormonal disease. Yep. So, people sit on their sofa and says that it's a hormonal disease. So I actually watched on the national television and it makes me very confused. So being a diabetologist, it's a very confusing statement for me that type 1 is a hormonal disease, but type 2 is a lifestyle disease.
So type 2 is basically an acquired disease.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what does mean by lifestyle disease? It includes 3 components.
Sir.
The first one is the dietary component.
Sorry, I would want everybody to kind of take notes as well, you know, because if you've got somebody suffering from type 2 diabetes, ladies and gentlemen, take these notes, please.
So the first component is the dietary component, and the second one is physical activity including walk and exercise, and the third one is your personal discipline. So when we talk about first component, dietary component, it includes only three ingredients that you have to minus in your diet, and we make a formula that is GPS diet, no GPS diet.
No
so
GPS.
if there are no grains, P for potatoes and S for sugars, so GPS means G for grains, P for potatoes and S for sugars. So if you minus these 3 ingredients from your diet, it becomes no GPS diet.
Okay. So all we need is no GPS diet.
Yes,
No GPS.
all you need is no GPS diet.
Yeah.
And in other words, grains mean all wheat, corn, flour, rice, everything.
Everything?
Every grain,
Okay.
wheat, corn, rice, and cereals.
कुछ खा ही ना
So
आपने।
No,
we do.
there are a lot of
we-
there are a lot of
what to
options.
We'll come back to that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the second component, when we say includes physical activity, it means you should come out of your comfort zone and get rid from the sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you have to walk for 60 minutes, or you have to go to the gym for 1 hour daily.
Yeah.
And the third component is the discipline. Discipline means you have to sleep well from 6 to 8 hours. You have to you have
So
to
no smoking, no alcohol, you know, all of that. You know,
I am a little stuck here on one thing.
Go ahead.
No sugar, no potatoes. I
Yes.
mean, like when you minus sugars, that
Yes.
actually cuts down on almost
Everything.
everything, which is like
Desserts.
brownies,
no, no,
desserts,
no.
and cakes,
Cookies.
and
Yes.
You will eat the
Yeah.
bounties of Allah.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and no
I will explain
potatoes as
that.
well. Like
Yes.
okay,
That's my
okay.
that's my.
So which is why let's come back to Arshad Saab. So Arshad Saab, we're very short on time. We have 3 more minutes.
So no GPS formula. You
How did you figure that out?
Yeah. When I passed the resolution that this year I have to reverse my diabetes, I started studying. I'm a voracious reader.
MashaAllah. Author yourself.
Yeah, I am author myself. By reading, I touched those authors. I hit those authors who are famous in the world in the diabetes reversal things. In Pakistan, unluckily, we don't talk about diabetes reversal or remission. Doctors keep on prescribing medicine for the whole. But in the world, lot of work is being done on the diabetes reversal. There is an alternate way.
Yep.
Luckily, I started studying Dr. Jason Fong. He is a nephrologist of Canada, top doctor in the world. He has done a lot of work on intermittent fasting and
kidney health and all of that, yeah.
diabetes reversal. I read his books, and I read books of many other authors. In 45 days, I started my reading journey on 1st January, and on 15th February, I read 4 or 5 books, lot of podcasts I listened to. I designed my new lifestyle. That Ashraf Chaudhary before 15 February has died, and the new Ashraf Chaudhary is being
here.
created.
The rise of new Ashraf
The
Chaudhary.
rise of new Ashraf Chaudhary.
Yeah.
On 15th February, I changed my diet plan, and after half an hour, I was in hypo.
Wow.
Wow,
You
that
got
I
down.
was in hypo. That means I was over medicated.
Yeah. Wow.
In the evening, after dinner, I halved my medicines.
Wow.
On a 16, I did half medicine. I took half medicine in the morning, half medicine in the evening. On 17, half of half in the morning, half of half in the evening. And from 18th February 2022, I'm sugar free, I'm medicine free, and I'm
Mashallah.
in just a few
Wow.
days.
Wow.
I'm
MashaAllah.
liberated.
I mean, wow.
It was 18 years old curse that I was carrying on my shoulders, and every doctor was indoctrinating me that this condition is forever. And I reversed a non-doctor, non-nutritionist
Yeah.
in 3 days.
MashaAllah.
And now I had 2 ways in front of me, that I have got a secret. I should, like old
Right,
Hakim, I
right.
should go to grave
Yeah.
without telling the world that I have got a secret.
Okay.
And the other was, Khairun nas man yanfa'un nas.
कि लोगों को
That
भी बताएं,
I have
फला
to
करें.
inform people, and then I
Thank you so
developed
much.
it.
Thank you so much, Choudhary Sahab, for being with us. Thank you so much for sharing your story with the audiences out there as well. Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Sahab, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you. And ladies and gentlemen, when you're healthy, wealthy, and when you do not have to spend on your medicines, all you need to do is kind of, enjoy your life. I think that's exactly what we're looking for. But thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
sir.
Thank
Thank you so much, gentlemen,
Thank
for being
you.
with
Thank
us. Lovely to be in conversation with you.
Thank
And for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, I think at this point of time, I would actually want to kind of share how a Guinness World Record was broken. Do you want to listen to this one?
I
It's-
really
it's-
want to listen to
it's,
this
it's, it's really interesting. So imagine that an Italian athlete, Silvio Saba, Italian athlete, which athlete?
Silvio Saba.
Saba has achieved another Guinness World Record. This time he jumped over 43 people on a motorcycle from a low ramp, reaching a maximum height of 1300 centimeter. Silvio already has a staggering 200 Guinness record title to his name. He took on the latest challenge in celebration of the Guinness World Records Day 2024 in the Italian city of Milan. Wow. Look at that. But that's really a low jump. That's exactly a low jump. Wow.
Yeah, that
Huh?
was really
Would you want to
impressive.
do that? We
In,
actually
in
had-
a car, I might want to, but I really cannot ride.
Not in a
bikes,
car,
so,
but
yeah.
imagine that that we actually had riders come in from South Africa, and we've done it over here. There was a huge sponsor who actually did it. The advert is actually
Yeah,
available.
next time invite me over.
I'm
as
going
well.
to show you the videos as well. So we did this, kind of drifting sort of a thing on the Pir Sohaba track as well. We got the permission. The advert is still out, so they say that ye na kiya to phir kya jiya. So please go ahead and you go on YouTube and kind of look for it as well. But meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, New York Museum unveils apex and almost complete Stegosaurus. Wow. So the American Museum of Natural History has revealed the identity of its latest resident. It is apex, one of the most complete specimens ever discovered of the plant-eating dinosaur Stegosaurus. The dinosaur is known of the upright plates on its back and a spiky tail. An audience of school children gasped as the museum pulled back curtains to reveal the 11 feet tall, 20-foot long skeleton of the dinosaur. Stegosaurus walked on 4 legs and lived in North America around 150 million years ago. During the Jurassic period, its fossils were first discovered in the 1870s. Well, and you know what? That research says that children who are actually excited to learn about dinosaurs or know about dinosaurs already are really intelligent from other children.
Yes, children are actually very excited to know about this kind of stuff.
Really? Are you sure? And not just that. I think, imagine that, these days people are actually making art with Legos as well. So professional violinist and innovative artist Gerardo Pontier from Mexico has created some amazing works of art using Lego, including human portraits. Wow, I never knew that Legos could do that as well. Gerard became a world champion Lego builder at the age of 10, winning the Lego Star Wars Galactic Challenge in Legoland, California. He recently exhibited his work at the International Art Capital Fair. Wow, that's wonderful, Gerard. You did a great job. And while we are at it, ladies and gentlemen, obviously everybody loves some good music and good humor as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce this worthy guest, who's with us. I'm just going to take off my talk back, and then my producer can actually be in touch with my wonderful co-host Sadaf over here. So, ladies and gentlemen, really lucky that I've been joined by one of my most amazing people, colleagues, wonderful singer. He always takes me back in time, reminds me of Junaid and all of those phenomenal singers from the eras of 1980s and 1990s. We're very lucky that we've actually been joined by Mr. Junaid Iqbal. Assalamu alaikum, Junaid bhai. How are you? Good morning.
Walaikum salam, everyone, and walaikum salam to you.
Thank
you
you so
for
much. I
having
think
me.
I'm just going to come and sit beside you. Why not?
Oh, wow. Please,
So that we
please.
can actually enjoy
Sing
you
together.
singing over here. Hello,
Oh my
assalamu
God.
alaikum. Thank
Okay.
you so much for
Walaikum
joining
salam.
us. First
How
of
are
all, how are you?
Good.
What
How
do you
are
have for us today?
Music.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We are all ears about it. Yeah.
All right.
It's different to sit over here though. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you singing for us?
I can actually sense some very catchy tune because, he just caught him, my Koank.
Well, this is my original song, obviously,
Go
Mausam.
ahead.
समा थम जाए और चलता रहे ये उल्फत का जहां ये मौसम सुहाना है आओ जरा अरे देखो मैं यहाँ भटका रहा इश्क की सदाएं मैं देता रहा सुन ले निदा ये दिल की जरा तुझसा नहीं है कोई दूसरा और तुझ बिन नहीं है कोई दूसरा Well, I wish there was a girl singing beside me.
This was so wonderful, and I really liked that. Tujh bin nahi hai koi.
It felt really different, but yeah, you know, your original music has always been so amazing,
Thank
Junaid.
you so much.
And I've always been very vocal about it. But why is it that the world is actually moving on to rap and hip hop and whatnot, and you're still stuck with, you know, instrumentals and what do we call it? You know, there's a name
Rock
for it.
music.
No, there's a name for it. You know, unplugged versions of the music.
Well, I think every musician has its own domain, you know. I mean, if I start singing rap or classical, I might sound shady, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. So I have my own rock style and pop style. So I try to create the same kind of music. And obviously, you know, it's not like you have to think about a music before you create it. It just comes from your heart. So
Really?
I think most of the times is like when you grow up, you're listening to specific genre. So you have that kind of aptitude to
Exactly.
music.
But do you do it for yourself or do you do it for people out there?
I do it for myself because if I can't connect to my music, I don't expect anybody else to connect.
So then do you want your music to be commercial in days to come?
Well, I know what you're going to say next. You know, you always tell me to have a modern music.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, you know, if I collaborate with someone who can do it, but I can't personally do modern music.
Alright.
I think I don't have it in me. I'm still stuck
And
with that same original rock kind of music.
That's
you know.
exactly what I'm going to ask Sadaf as well. So
Yeah.
Sadaf, you sing as well, right? So can we guys do like a song where both of you can sing?
I don't know. Which song can you sing?
Which song can you sing?
I think you can sing as well. I think you should
I can
sing
rap
as well.
in between, you know, if you can rhythm a little more. Yeah, you know, so I
don't
need
know.
a
What
little.
song do you know?
What song? Dil Dil Pakistan?
नहीं tere liye hai mera dil meri jaan. I think that's
I don't know about the
Okay,
song.
vital signs song नहीं पता आपको?
Yeah. See, he's always like 1980s and 1990s music guy.
जुनून song कोई आता है?
Yeah,
तो
go
you can
ahead.
sing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Garaj baras sawan khirayo.
Oh,
Sing that.
that was a difficult one. Yeah.
गरज बरस सावन गिर आयो 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 देखो कैसे अनजाने रास्तों पे बरस घटा आओ ले ले मत वाली मस्तानी रत का मजा गरज बरस सावन गिर आयो गरज बरस सावन गिर आयो
बजाते रहो, हमारी बारी आ रही थी अभी.
This was really good.
आ भी जा मेरी जान आ भी जा चाहे तू जहर दे या जीने की दुआ कैसा ये नाता है सांसों से सांसों का सुन तो ले बेसगा भीगी भीगी फजा
1975, a long time. यार हमारी दफा हमने स्टॉप खत्म कर दिया. 1975 mic.
That's very, very nice. I am enjoying this. But in the meanwhile, I have to announce some birthdays as well.
Yeah. There's a birthday as well.
I am rapping at the same time too.
There's a birthday we need to wish. Yeah.
So let's actually celebrate 2 birthdays, and
My birthday?
since we're like singing, so or we can rap it. So we have 2 birthdays. One is Fatima Hassan, who is turning 3. It's her 3rd birthday. So let's sing happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. And another one as well. It's Mohammad Shahryar Anjum. He is son of our PTV colleague as well. So let's sing. Yes, so let's sing for both of them together. Yeah. We're
Happy
singing,
birthday
right? Exactly.
to you. Happy birthday
To you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, dear little ones. You're turning old now. Happy birthday to
Should I go and sit on
you.
the anchor seat?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Why not? I think we're done with this as well, right?
Yeah,
So,
we're done.
all right, everybody, look after yourselves. It's a great show today. I've
Bye-bye.
enjoyed
Have
thoroughly.
fun.
Until next time, look after yourselves.
Yeah.
It's a good morning.
And keep listening to good music as well. Bye bye.
Yeah.
आप तो छुपे रास्ते निकले तो फिर आते ही नहीं आप जैम करें ना किसी दिन बैठ के
वो मेरी इतनी की जैमिंग है.